Well, hi, John from the Driveway Garden. And what we're doing here is using the best of nature to grow naturally. Of course, we do the compost, and we have a couple compost videos out there. And when you get it to this point, there's a lot of beneficial organisms in there. And this works great for especially usually larger gardens or somebody who has a lot of containers like me. But there's a lot of people who have 1, 2, 10 planters to do. And there's other ways you can use beneficials. So this product right here, Mycorrhizae Bigfoot, I use similar products when I did my horticultural ministry going to India. We use something like this in the Sundarban Islands, where a couple years before I came, they had a cyclone that flooded the islands. And of course, the soil became very saline. And I knew about 6 months ahead of time I was going on this mission trip. So I instructed them and got them to do compost and get as much on the field as possible. We worked with one field on this. And they did that before I came, so that helped. But then we used a product here from this company, and it's a little different. It had a lot more beneficials in it. This has 8 different ones. The one I had 32. But we added that to when we put the potatoes in, we sprayed all the potatoes. And when they began, we sprayed the field again. I got a letter at harvest time from the pastor of that village, and they had attained 70% production. And they had lost that from that cyclone. So that's why I talk about these things. If you have just a few containers, you can't do compost. This is a great way to inoculate even artificial soils. You would just have to do it several times through the summer and through the growing season. So using nature to grow naturally. Well, this is our winter thermo compost pile, and you can see how that looks. It's looking really beautiful. And we put 44 pumpkins in here.
Holy moly.
And all the other materials. Remember what happened last time when we moved a pile, Brandon? Not this one?
Yeah, it really kicked up the temperature quite a bit. Near 170, right?
Yeah, it was just a little below 170. It stayed that way for about a week and then slowly went down. This one I moved last week, and it's still at 145, and it's been 7, 8 days. I don't remember exactly. So the temperature has been consistent on this. What will happen is we'll lose about 1/3 of the height of this as it continues to bake down. And the thermal compost really worked. So cool weather crops. This is cilantro. I had this on my garage side garden all winter long in a flat, which was super loaded with moisture. In fact, this pot is super heavy. But it's amazing what some things can endure. So I'm going to have cilantro for the early part of the year. And I'll grow some more because it will flower as we get into June. So I have other plants already going that I will plant after this finishes so I can continue using it. We have some other nice crops here too. And this I just bumped up from my flats with the smaller cells. And we got a nice selection here. We got Swiss chard, which I have some that overwintered. I have bronze fennel, also overwinters. I have red giant mustard, one of the best mustards there is, at least in my opinion. So much better than anything that comes from a jar. And then we got Savoy cabbage, a great cabbage. That can overwinter as well. And then we got butter stem broccoli. I love that one because you just so much more. You get smaller heads, but you get a really nice stem that is tender and tasty, so you get more to eat. And then we have purple Sicily cauliflower. So I'll leave these out. In fact, all you see here, there's radishes and fava beans and leeks and much more. And these will just stay out now and they can take the cold. We had a frost last night. I have some of these plants in here right now, and they took the frost just fine. You can see how good that looks. And then I got some fennel. Look how tiny they are. And they're frosted and they're happy as can be. So let's take a look at some Italian seeds. So you can see I'm getting my containers already. I have them fairly prepped and ready to go for these unique Italian veggie varieties. And I just want to mention these briefly, but I got these because they're really unique. So we got this giant pea, Sementes Pisello Rambicente. Yeah, that's my Italian. But these peas, they get 6 to 8 feet climbing, as far as climbing in height. And the peas are a little over 4 inches. So, and they're a sweet pea, just like just like a snow pea, except bigger and mild, sweet, tasty, and huge. So I thought that was unique. The other thing I saw unique was this onion. It's a green onion, but they have very long white stems. And from what I read, the Italian said this is the one they pretty much only eat as far as green onions go. Why? Well, they got the long white stems give the best flavor. Now, when I eat a green onion, I eat the whole thing, when the totally green part to the white part. And to me, it all tastes great. But the stem always has the best taste. And I was really intrigued by the idea of having a lot more white stem. We'll see how these turn out. And the other one was winter giant spinach. And this one gets huge. Evidently, the leaves are big. Well, they're bigger than my hand. And actually, they say in the information you can use it for a wrap if you wanted to make a spinach sandwich with a wrap. But very large leaf, very unique. And then I just have this wild arugula. And I like the idea of this particular one because they talked about how it grows wild all around Rome. So we'll see what that's like too. But these are coming up. We'll update you on these. And just looks like a lot of fun. These are plants that you saw in a previous video that I overwintered by growing indoors. And the reason is I wanted to get some earlier production, especially in the eggplant. It takes longer to produce, so I'm trying to find a way to get some earlier production there. So these three were overwintered: the pepper, the Swiss chard, and the eggplant. But the tomato I grew from seed, started about 8 weeks ago, and that one has a head start too. So I'm hoping to get earlier production there as well.
What's with the sand and the yellow tag there?
Well, I'll tell you what. I had a couple pots that had some really fungus gnat problems, and I don't typically have a lot of that for my compost. I really don't. But we used that dewatered manure. Remember, we picked that up? Oh. Manure is a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
And some of that got in the mix in this pot and a different flat inside, and those are the only two getting fungus gnats. They really like that manure, and the eggs are easily laid in there. So you got to find some solutions. So I definitely don't want to spray anything, except there is a product that works really good. Now this is a granular, and I would suggest getting the liquid, but it's Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a natural occurring bacteria that does a good job on different fly larvae. But get the liquid, that works real quick. The granular takes longer to work, just not quite as effective. But the Bacillus thuringiensis works really good. But the other thing I tried, I remembered, I dealt with a lot of growers in one of my previous jobs because I was at a horticultural wholesaler, dealt with a lot of greenhouses. And I remember a couple of small ones telling me they didn't have the money to take care of fungus gnats, so they put a couple of inches of sand in there. And what happens is the way the fungus gnats lay eggs is they like to do it more from the top down, and it doesn't work good in the sand. And I found 2 days later an incredible reduction just using the sand. So that worked pretty good, just something I remembered. So also the yellow sticky cards, are really used more as an indicator that you have them, but it is
yeah, look at them all.
Yeah, and you look at the other side too. But it can be a partial control. The thing is, you can't depend on those alone because fungus gnat larvae have what they call end stars, but it's 4 stages of the larvae, and they're inside around the roots, eating the roots. So even if you get a lot of the adults, there's always larvae in there in some stage. So the bacillus works best. This is a partial control, but the sand works pretty good. So give that a try on fungus gnats. That should help take care of your problems with that. Well, if you like potatoes, that's a cool weather crop as well. So now is the time to plant, and you need to plant first early potatoes. I have a variety here called Yukon Gold, and I like this variety especially. It's a nice yellow flesh. And what I did is I have a package of products that I got from a farming business, and it has enzymes and beneficials, about 75 different micronutrients, biostimulants in there. And I've never tried it before, so it will be new. Hopefully we'll get a lot better production. I also have some Yukons I'll plant without it, so we have a comparison. See that nice little brown stuff in there? That's all good stuff right there. So it'll be interesting to see the comparison there. Also, you can see that's chitting a little bit. That's C-H-I-T-T-I-N-G. And that's just a little chit. But anyway,
Oh boy.
anyway, here's one that has a bigger chitting. And we forgot about these in our cupboard, so I just thought I'd show you that. But it's time to get these in. You could have actually got them in a couple weeks ago, but it's still time. So please subscribe, and thank you for watching the driveway garden. I left this outdoors on my sideway drive. All right, let me start again.
Yeah, reset.